Morning Year 5, welcome to Monday's guided reading lesson. Over the forthcoming weeks we're going to be looking at a few different texts, different genres, but still around the theme of space from our new topic, and we are going to be focusing on our Viper skills. So to begin with, having looked at prediction at the end of last week, this week we are initially focusing on the skill of retrieval. That's the ability to look in a text, find pieces of information through skimming and scanning rather than reading the entire text in order to pull out facts, information, in order to answer some retrieval style questions. So the text that we're going to be using today, tomorrow and Wednesday is this one here, and quite simply it's called Space. We're going to be looking at trying to work out whether you think it is a fiction or non-fiction book, and then we're going to have a look at a text on a particular page and have a go at developing our retrieval skills. So I'm going to switch the screen now on to the lesson. Okay, so now we're going to have actually a closer look at our text following what I've just said, and also looking at the skill of retrieval. So this is the first session with this text. So here is a smaller picture of the front cover of the book. So do you think this book is based on fact, also known as non-fiction, or do you think it is a fiction book? Have a look at the picture on the front. Can you come up with a reason as to why you think that? Maybe the picture is a clue, the name of the book is a clue. I will try and zoom in on part of it for you too. That might help. So if I zoom in on this bit, bear with me, I'm trying to do this as steady as I can. Hopefully if I do that, it will stand up. So it says winner of a junior science award. I can't quite make out that word on my screen, so it'd be even harder for you, I'd imagine. But is that a clue as to what type of text it is? We'll have a look inside in a moment, and that will answer the question completely for us. But maybe have a chat with somebody near you about what type of text you think this space book is. Okay, right. Have a look at this picture here to get us started. So can you come up with a fact about the sun using this image? So we are retrieving information. So retrieval, as I said, is the skill from this picture. What can you see in this picture that tells you something about the sun? So you might want to pause at this point and have a look, have a discussion. What can you see? And then now you've unpaused it, I'll give you an example. So one fact I might have is that the sun is in the center of the solar system. A different fact might be from this picture, you can see the planets in our solar system are all around the sun. You might say the sun is spherical, so shaped like a ball, maybe not a perfect sphere, but that's certainly how it appears to look. I wonder if there are any other facts about the sun that you can retrieve from this picture. Please send them in via email if you are able to do that. That would be superb. Right, let's move on a little bit. So, just like we do in the classroom, before we see the text completely, we're just going to go through some of the vocabulary that we will possibly come across. So I will read them out on here, and then I will sort of pause and give you a chance to look at the words as well. So some of the trickier words or new words that we might come across in the text are words such as this first one here, which is outermost. Then we've got the word nuclear, poisonous, and then this particular one is a favourite of mine. It's like the way it sounds, luminous. Luminous. Listen out for those words, see if we can work out what they might mean based on the sentences that they are in to give us a clue about their definitions. Now, what is the root word in the word occasionally? Have a conversation with someone near you. Hopefully you will realise that the root word is the word occasion, and then we have got the suffix on the end of the word occasion to make it occasionally. Right, and then another word to want you to have a look at is what spelling rule can you see in the word atmosphere? Pause if you want to have a think about it in a discussion. But actually, it's very similar to my name, the same spelling rule. It's that sound, the PH in the middle of the word atmosphere to make the F sound is the spelling rule rather than just the letter F. Easy mistake to make, because if you write how it sounds, which we often do, your immediate thought might be the F, but in fact, just like my name Philpotts, it's the PH that makes the F sound. So that is the spelling rule there. Right. Here are some other words that we might come across in the text. So we're going to try and, I'm going to imagine that you are repeating it back to me as we go, and we'll try and do it how we do it in the classroom. I might not shout it too loud because I do have my children at home somewhere with me, and they will probably be wondering why I might be shouting out what would be to them strange words, because they are only 2 and 4. So I might just say a little bit louder, but maybe not as loud as we normally do in the classroom. So first word. So say it after me. Neighborhood, 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 neighborhood. Can't really act it out because you can't see me, but you just have to take my word for it that it is a wonderful performance. Next word. Repeat it after me. Gravity, 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 gravity. Orbit, 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 orbit. Outermost, 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 outermost. And the last one, atmosphere, 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 atmosphere. Okay, well done if you've had a go with those. Hopefully you haven't woken too many people up in your neighbourhood by shouting it too loud, but I know how loud some of you can be, so it wouldn't surprise me if that did happen. Right, here is the text. Now, obviously the first problem is if we are looking at this on a phone or a small device, it's going to be really hard to see it. I will do my best to zoom in, but I will read the text to you today. I can't ask you to read it to me because I can't hear you, so I will just read it to you. If there are any issues, I think the best thing we could do, if you could email it to the Year 5 account, and I'll see if there's an alternative way, but this is the best way I can come up with at the moment. So the page in the book that we're focused on is this double page here about the solar system. So it's the start of the space topic, so I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to get to know where our planet is in relation to others, and a little bit about all the planets in our solar system. So I'm going to zoom in like I did earlier using the magic pen. Great name. It does rely on me trying to draw straight lines on my mouse pad, which is not particularly easy, but there we go. Right, not bad. So the solar system. The solar system is our neighborhood in space. At its centre is the Sun, our local star, which takes up 99.9% of the solar system's mass. The Sun's gravity keeps everything else trapped near it, including 9 planets and their 63 moons. 63 is an extraordinary number when you think we've only got 1. The planets race around the Sun along paths called orbits, spinning like tops as they move. The 4 inner planets are balls of rock and metal, and the outer planets are giant balls of gas or liquid, except icy Pluto, the outermost. Pluto is 4 billion miles from the Sun. The nearest star is 7,000 times farther away. 4 billion is an extraordinary number, I must say. Right, let's have a little look at these planets a bit more closely. So if I scroll down a bit, teacher notes. Right, scroll down. Okay, so hopefully I can repeat the same trick. If I try and do it too fast, then we get a wobbly line. Right, here we go. Up the side. Oh no, that didn't do it. Let's try that again. Right, straight down, straight across. Okay, and then that's better. Ooh, just put on a bit more. Right, I will read this to you as well because I've realised we've cut the sun off there, which isn't very helpful. The sun is a huge ball of luminous, there's that word, luminous gas, more than 1,000,000 times larger than Earth. Its energy comes from nuclear reactions in the core, where temperatures reach 57.2 million degrees Fahrenheit or 15 million degrees Celsius. So today it's about 1 degree Celsius. So times that by 15 million and you'll be about there. Mercury. This small cratered world is the closest planet to the sun. During the day, its surface is a scorching 430 degrees Celsius. At night, it plummets to minus 180 degrees Celsius. A year on Mercury is only 88 Earth days. Okay, whereas obviously for here it's 365 days. Venus is Earth's ugly sister. Its size and structure are similar to Earth's, but the air is poisonous and the surface is much too hot to support life. Venus spins around so slowly that its day is longer than its year. Imagine that. Earth, our home planet, is the only place in the universe known to support life. Oceans of water cover 2/3 of the rocky surface and white clouds of water swirl through the atmosphere. Earth has only one moon. Mars. People once thought there was life on Mars. Like Earth, it has mountains, canyons, icy poles, and an atmosphere. However, its surface is a barren desert. Mars is about half as wide as Earth and has 2 moons. Okay, let's move over to the other side. We're still just sharing the text at the moment. Let's see if I can get this first time. Straight across. And then up. Hooray, there we go. Right, Jupiter. Jupiter, the largest planet. Jupiter is heavier than all the other planets put together. Just think about that. That's extraordinary. It is a huge globe of liquid and gas covered by circular bands of clouds. Jupiter has 16 moons, including 4 bigger than Pluto. Pluto, I should say, is now classed as a dwarf planet. For anyone quibbling over whether Pluto technically counts anymore, it is now classed as a dwarf planet. Sad day for Pluto. Saturn. Saturn, if you put all 9 planets in a giant bucket of water, only Saturn would float. Think about how big that bucket would be. It's almost as big as Jupiter, but far lighter. Its rings are made of millions of dazzling chunks of ice. Saturn also has 18 icy moons. Imagine looking up at the sky at night and seeing 18 moons instead of 1. Uranus. With a featureless blue surface, Uranus looks like a billiard ball. It is 4 times as wide as Earth, 20 times further from the Sun, and has 15 moons. The man who discovered Uranus wanted to call it George's star. Neptune. The winds on Neptune are the fastest in the solar system, tearing around the planet at up to 1,240 miles per hour. To give you an idea, the speed limit on a motorway for cars is 70 miles per hour. So think how many times bigger that is then. Faster, rather. Raging storms appear as dark spots. Neptune is similar to Uranus, but has only 8 moons. And I know it's been cut off slightly, but Pluto's on the end. Mysterious Pluto is too small and far away to see it clearly. It gets so little sunlight that its air freezes in winter. Its year is 248 Earth years. A person born here would not live to be a single year old. Pluto has 1 moon. Impressive stuff. Right. So we're going to be dipping into this page over the next 2 sessions to together practice and develop our retrieval skills, and then have a go at some independently as well. So to finish off with, just things to think about. What do you think might have been the most interesting fact about our solar system so far? I'd love to hear what you think. Maybe you know one that has not come up on the text. because I find every year when I read about space, we learn something new. And some new wonderful facts. So if you've got any others, please share those on the Year 5 email address. And also, years ago, why might people have thought the sun travelled around the Earth? People used to look up at the sky and think that's what was happening, and the fact that they thought the Earth was at the centre of the solar system. So why might people have thought that? Let's have a think about it. So tomorrow, as I said, we'll be sort of diving into the retrieval skills. Now we've had a look at the text to get ourselves started. Right, now, hopefully, on to Cosmic. Okay, well done Year 5 so far. That is a good start to the week. And we're just going to finish off the session with the next part of our Cosmic story. So this is now Chapter 2. If you remember, I said before, it is called Completely Doomed. The slightly worrying thing is that I'm sort of enjoying this. Being doomed is not good, but being weightless is outstanding. Every time I lean forward, I do a perfect somersault. When I stretch my arms in the air, I levitate. Back on Earth, my only special skills are being above average in maths and height. Up here, I've got so many skills, I'm practically a Power Ranger. Then there's the stars. On Earth, our house is right next to the New Strand shopping centre. The multi-storey blots out most of the sky. The only stars I ever really noticed were the ones on the It's Your Solar System glow-in-the-dark mobile I got when I was 9. And the only reason I noticed them was that they kept getting tangled in my hair. Mobiles do not make good presents for persons of above average height. The stars look different from here. There's a lot more of them, for one thing. Big swirls and knots and clouds of them. So bright, they hurt to look at. When you're in it, space looks like the biggest firework display ever, except it's on pause. It looks like freeze-frame fireworks. Even if you're completely doomed, you've got to be impressed. The only bad thing about the view is that it doesn't include Earth. We haven't seen it since we rolled out of orbit. I said to the others, well, it must be somewhere. We're probably just facing the wrong way. We'll find it, definitely. But that didn't seem to calm them down. One of them, Samson 2, drew me a diagram to prove that even if we were facing the wrong way, we should still be able to see it. I said, so, what are you saying? That we've fallen into some magic wormhole and come out on the other side of the universe? Possibly. That the whole Earth just vanished, that it's gone? Possibly. They all screamed until they wore themselves out, and then they went to sleep. At least sleep uses less oxygen. I've tried to imagine that there's someone on the other end of this phone, someone unusually quiet. I've also tried to make actual phone calls. I sort of thought the signal might be better up here, being nearer to the satellites, but it doesn't seem to work like that. It's a short chapter. The next one, which you'll hear at the end of tomorrow's reading lesson, is called My Favourite Gravity. I shall see you then.